Good evening and welcome to Newswatch, your source for all news out of southeastern Ohio. I'm Allie Eldridge. Thanks for joining us. Law enforcement leaders faced tough questions from the community last night as residents filled up the Athena Cinema in Athens to address issues they see with the police force. APD Chief Tom Pyle and OUPD Chief Andrew Powers and Hocking College Police Chief Tiffany Timms were all present as panel members as attendees took turns asking questions. Topics ranged from police brutality to how chiefs can work to mitigate racism on their police forces. The forum was scheduled in response to a viral video showing APD using force to restrain a man on Court Street late last month. Jewel Henderson was present last night and she says she would have liked to see an event like this before such an incident occurred.
That it's really unfortunate that it took a situation like this for us to essentially prioritize an event like this. Because like Maurice was saying, like these events happen all the time, maybe not to this capacity, but they happen in micro versions every weekend. You can't deny it. So it's really unfortunate that something like this had to happen for us to come together as a community.
The event was hosted by OU's Black Student Union, Multicultural Center, and the National Penhalic Council. As of today, 3 Ohio University sororities and 1 professional fraternity are under administrative investigation after being accused of hazing. Today, OU issued cease and desist orders to Delta Zeta, Chi Omega, Pi Beta Phi, and Phi Chi Theta. According to a release from OU, details of the allegations are not being publicly released to protect the integrity of the university's investigation. The Meigs County Pioneer and Historical Society is asking voters to consider approving a tax levy on the November ballot. The 0.5 mil tax levy request is the first to be presented to the voters by the organization. If approved, the levy would provide a consistent funding source for the Historical Society donations, gift shop sales, and a small annual stipend from the Meigs County Commissioners currently fund the nonprofit organization. With elections coming up, the League of Women Voters held a candidate night in Nelsonville. WOUB's Anna Azalin reports the forum allowed community members a chance to talk with the candidates and ask questions.
After opening statements from candidates running for city auditor and city council, the candidates rotated through the tables, answering questions posed by Nelsonville community members. A lot of questions were asked, but there were some issues many people said they were concerned about.
The stream is drying up, and we need to find a way to regenerate some new money.
Housing issues are a big thing, whether it's like affordable housing or bringing like existing housing up to code.
Other issues community members said they're concerned about included infrastructure, crime, and the opioid crisis. Candidates had a variety of solutions to the problems, including rent control, police foot patrols, and reassessing the current budget. The League of Women Voters said this format for the voter forum was new, but several people said they liked the opportunity to talk to the candidates in small groups.
I thought the League of Women Voters did a great job. I thought each one of us getting to have a candidate come to the table and mix with the people, I think it was informative for those candidates.
The candidates who are at the forum will be on the November 5th ballot in Nelsonville. For more information on who's running, visit the Athens County Board of Elections website. Leadership and presidential candidates from the Democratic Party will be in Ohio this weekend. The party's annual state dinner will bring National Chairman Tom Perez and candidates Pete Buttigieg, Julian Castro, Amy Klobuchar, Tom Steyer, and Tim Ryan to Columbus. The Democratic presidential candidates will be at Otterbein University here in Ohio 2 days later for their next debate. Ryan, who is a congressman from Youngstown, did not qualify for the debate. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden plans to return to Ohio 2 weeks after he's in the state for the debate. Biden's campaign announced yesterday that he will be in Columbus on October 31st following the October 15th debate. Republican Donald Trump carried Ohio decisively in 2016, and the state has been trending Republican in statewide elections. Trump's urging of Ukraine to investigate Biden and his son has triggered an impeachment inquiry into the incident.
Hello, I'm forecaster Adlai Carwish, and right now it is 73 degrees with humidity at 54%. Winds to the east-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So it's been a pretty nice day so far, so that's always a positive. wind coming out today, looking all around the southeastern Ohio area. Chillicothe at 73, Jackson at 73, Ironton at 74, Athens at 75, and New Lexington at 70. So it's been a pretty decent day right now. You take a look at tonight, 51 degrees, and it's a passing cloud or two, mostly clear so far. It's going to be a clear night. Make sure you bring your jacket because it will be cold outside. And pretty much it's going to be one of those nights that you're going to enjoy the walk. It might be a little cold, but it's going to be one of those nights, Allie, that you're going to have just a fantastic night walking around. And later on, I'll talk about what's coming up for the weekend and even looking forward towards next week.
Sounds great, Adelaide. Thank you. Look forward to hearing what you have to say later. A small company in West Virginia is taking on American opioid companies in a lawsuit. Handyman at the home improvement company Al Marino Incorporated filed a federal lawsuit blaming Purdue Pharma, Johnson & Johnson, and other companies for rising insurance costs. The suit claims the drug companies caused a public health crisis which increased the need for expensive medical treatments. The handymen claim this led to the rising insurance costs in West Virginia. This is one of thousands of lawsuits against drug companies hoping to hold them accountable for the opioid crisis, which has killed over 400,000 people in the last 20 years. Oberlin College is fighting back against local business owners who say the college is ruining their businesses. The college is appealing over $30 million awarded to business owners. The business owners say the school is ruining their businesses by encouraging students to protest against them and branding them racist. Oberlin's Board of Trustees made the decision to appeal and says the need to protect free speech. They also claim the jury made serious errors during the trial. A judge has previously rejected the school's motions for a new trial. Next on Newswatch, President Trump continues to fight the impeachment inquiry, and one school is suing an e-cigarette company. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
The end of dinosaurs.
The most important event in the last 100 million years.
Now, an extraordinary expedition
at ground zero, investigating how this impact led to such mass extinction,
reveals an unimaginable global chain reaction.
The atmosphere was emitting energy larger than the sun. They were toast.
And its aftermath.
It's important to help us survive.
The Day the Dinosaurs Died on Nova.
Whether by land, by air, or by sewer, these modern migrators are joining the daily commute
Please mind the gap.
in and out of our cities. And while they face unfamiliar dangers, the rewards can be worth it. With one paw in the wild and one hoof in the city, these clever commuters are making the best of life in the wild metropolis. Only on PBS.
Can a decades-old murder shed light on the way we react to violence on the internet?
We're all bystanders on social media.
How is a drug that shook up the status quo in the 60s now upending modern medicine?
I tuned into the world, to me, to things I used to love.
Plus, humorous Andy Borowitz. Those stories and more. Retro Report on PBS.
the most dramatic moment of learning in my life happened in less than a second.
50 years ago, 5 scientists made a revolutionary discovery.
It was a flashbulb moment.
They learned how to heal a battered planet.
We've found the rules, how systems work, how the world works.
Join these unsung heroes as they tell their unique story of hope, one that will change the way you see nature.
An impeachment inquiry into President Trump. The president himself says the Supreme Court could challenge the investigation. CNN's Caitlin Collins has more on how Democrats are expected to respond.
Crazy and frightening. That's how President Trump's call with Ukraine is being described by a White House official who claims they were shaken by the call while listening to it. That's according to a source familiar with the whistleblower probe. The Trump administration is now saying they won't cooperate with the impeachment investigation, sending a letter to the Democrats heading it up saying, quote, "Your inquiry is constitutionally invalid and violates basic due process rights and the separation of powers," claiming Democrats haven't provided fundamental fairness in allowing the president to cross-examine witnesses or have access to evidence. The administration again calling for a full House vote.
The president is obstructing Congress from getting the facts that we need. That is an abuse of power for him to act in this way.
Most Republican lawmakers are echoing the president's sentiments.
This whole thing is a fairy tale. Adam Schiff is misleading you, and you're playing along with it.
Other lawmakers say they need more details.
Let's get the facts and put all the facts out, not only in front of the House, potentially in the Senate, but we don't know that yet, but certainly in front of the American people.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
According to multiple White House sources, House Democrats will be issuing more subpoenas in the inquiry, but may be done with voluntary interviews for witnesses. The office of the Turkish presidency tweeted this photo of Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan after Turkey launched its military offensive in Syria. Turkey appears poised to drive out Kurdish forces who have long been U.S. allies in the war against ISIS, but who Turkey considers terrorists. That's because of their ties to Kurdish militants waging an insurgency inside Turkey. Kurds have called for a general mobilization to defend the region. 3 school districts in the United States have filed suit against Juul, the company that dominates the e-cigarette market. The New York Times reports school systems in St. Charles, Missouri, Olathe, Kansas, and on Long Island filed suit on Monday. The districts accused Juul of endangering students. Kelly Hoskins reports from St. Charles County.
That they actually took a page out of the old tobacco's playbook and determined that if they hooked kids on nicotine young, they would have customers for life.
The Francis House School District claims e-cigarette maker Juul Labs is harming their students. The lawsuit being launched by the district, who says they attribute to low student performance to vaping. In an interview with Clayton-based attorney Cindy Ornsby, she says the Francis House School District is part of a coordinated package of litigation filed by school districts across the country, each dealing with similar crises of students addicted to nicotine.
That many kids vaping in the classroom, in the hallways, in the bathrooms. It takes a lot of time away out of the classroom, with teachers having to deal with the issue during class time, administrators having to deal with the issue rather than being the educational leader of their building, additional staff to monitor hallways and bathrooms, in addition to the fact that students are just plain addicted.
The 81-page complaint alleges that Juul intentionally marketed the products to children, created a public nuisance by getting kids addicted to nicotine, and also endangered its underage customers' health.
3 years ago, Francis Hall had maybe 50 tobacco-related disciplinary incidents. Last year, they had more than 250. And this year, it looks like they're on track to have even more than that.
The lawsuit also claims Juul Labs harmed students through deceptive marketing and misconduct. The suit says Juul vaping products cause significant and ongoing nicotine abuse and addiction by students in the Francis House School District. The district has hired additional staff to monitor bathrooms and hallways for vaping.
Juul, which has denied steering its products toward teenagers, did not immediately comment on the lawsuits. STDs are on the rise in the U.S. How the government is combating that issue. That story.
And coming up, the weather seemed to be on the rain coming up on Saturday. And here's your stats of local interest.
Can a decades-old murder shed light on the way we react to violence on the internet?
We're all bystanders on social media.
How is a drug that shook up the status quo in the 60s now upending modern medicine?
I tuned into the world, to me, to things I used to love.
Plus, humorous Andy Borowitz. Those stories and more. Retro Report on PBS.
Think Wednesday on PBS for stories from the world around us. Stories of revival.
Things started to reconnect with each other.
The day the dinosaurs died.
It's the most important event in the last 100 million years.
And wild commuters.
The world's wildlife is on the move.
For stories that get you closer to life. Think Wednesday, starting at 8/7 Central. Think PBS.
What's up? My name is Joseph Hennessy. I am the host of the 21st season of Gridiron Glory. We are super excited to be back on the air. Make sure to tune in every Friday night at 11:30 p.m. on WOUB PBS, and make sure to keep up with all of our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and on Snapchat. Now, just a couple of these teams that Jackson come out of the FAC. Is River Valley the dark horse? Who knows? Make sure to keep watching. And remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Do you think you're paranoid?
No, I'm not. For decades, residents of this Arab American neighborhood have suspected they were under surveillance. They were right.
So I found 1,000 pages of declassified FBI documents. What happened?
جو عند الباب واحد يطبطب قال لي اسمي باب قال لي بنتك اللي دير دوكيومنتري قلت له ايه.
The feeling of being watched on POV.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm forecaster Adlai Carwish. Right now, 73 degrees, and it's a pretty good day outside. It's been a pretty good day walking around to my classes. It's been all around a pretty good day. Humidity at 54% moving forward. Right now, all throughout southeastern Ohio, Chillicothe at 73, Athens at 75, New Lexington at 70. So it's been a pretty nice day so far. Taking a look at the big U.S. temperature map, thank God we're not up towards the northwest, as it's in the 20s and 30s down there. We're mostly seeing 70 degrees weather all the way over here. So it's been a pretty average day for this time of year, for early to mid-October. Tonight, 51 degrees, maybe a passing cloud or two, but mostly clear, and there's not very many winds going on tonight. So it'd be a clear night. Make sure to bring a jacket, though, because it will be 51, especially in New Lexington, which will be at 49, Columbus at 51, and Chillicothe at 50. So it'd be clear, maybe a cloud or two will pass by, but it won't be too bad. Tomorrow, 76 degrees, mix of sun and cloud, and it's another nice day outside. We've been having a couple nice fall days, not very much wind though. Winds coming out of the east at 0 to 5 miles per hour. So it's been a pretty good day so far. It's going to be a pretty good day tomorrow. New Lexington at 76, Columbus at 78, Ripley getting all the way up to 80 degrees tomorrow. So it will be a little bit warmer, but it will still be nice fall day. Taking a look at the precip maps now. Moving here, you can see this low pressure system right here. And that's going to move forward, and it's going to make our homecoming a little wet and a little cool. This front right here, making all the clouds that you see above the sky right now. And this high pressure system right here is making it pretty dry outside, but the dryness will not continue for very much longer as this cold front moves through. You see to tomorrow night, you see that again, that low pressure system and that cold front starting to move through towards our area, but it won't hit us till Saturday. So we still have a couple more days of pretty nice weather here in Athens and in the local area. Take a look at the weekend, because everyone wants to look forward to the weekend here, but unfortunately it's not going to be the best of weekends. You see Friday it's going to be a nice 80 degrees, but once Friday night hits and once things start to go out, rain will start to be late Saturday. 59 degrees, homecoming weekend, and unfortunately it's not going to be a very good day in terms of weather. 59 degrees, it'd be rainy and cold, so make sure you bring a coat or rain jacket because it's going to be cold. Sunday will start to be nice, 66 degrees and nice as we move forward to tonight, 51 degrees, and it will be tonight. Moving forward to your 7-day outlook here, 76, 8, 80, and Saturday with Monday looking pretty good. I'll send it back to you, Allie.
Thanks, Adelaide. U.S. health officials are issuing a sharp warning following the dramatic increase in STDs, and they are asking the federal government for help. Meredith Wood has more on what's behind these numbers in today's Health Minute.
For the 5th year in a row, rates of syphilis, gonorrhea, and chlamydia have gone up in the U.S., according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. About 2.4 million new cases of these STDs were reported in the U.S. in 2018, reaching an all-time high. Alaska, Mississippi, and Nevada had the highest reported rates of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis, respectively. But Washington, D.C. reported the highest rate of all 3 diseases. All 3 of these diseases are treatable. But if left untreated, they can cause problems with the prostate and testicles. And women could suffer damage in the reproductive system. If a pregnant woman has syphilis and leaves it untreated, they pass it to the baby through their placenta, which could be life-threatening to the infant. The D.C. Department of Health says the rise in cases could be that screenings are more readily available, leading to more people getting tested. However, according to the CDC, the use of condoms is on the decline. Experts are focusing on education as the best method towards prevention, as well as utilizing testing and available treatment services. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Hi, I'm Trent Holland, and today in sports, the Ohio football team prepares to host the Northern Illinois Huskies for the homecoming this week. Hear from head coach later on. And then right after the break, the Ohio soccer team prepares to hit the road for another MAC contest. Hear from the head coach up next on Newswatch.
Think Wednesday on PBS for stories from the world around us. Stories of revival.
Things started to reconnect with each other.
The day the dinosaurs died.
It's the most important event in the last 100 million years.
And wild commuters.
The world's wildlife is on the move.
For stories that get you closer to life. Think Wednesday, starting at 8/7 Central. Think PBS.
Can a decades-old murder shed light on the way we react to violence on the internet?
We're all bystanders on social media.
How is a drug that shook up the status quo in the 60s now upending modern medicine?
I tune in to the world, to me, to things I used to love.
Plus, humorous Andy Borowitz. Those stories and more. Retro Report on PBS.
Do you think you're paranoid?
No, I'm not. For decades, residents of this Arab American neighborhood have suspected they were under surveillance. They were right.
So I found 1,000 pages of declassified FBI documents. What happened?
جاو عند الباب واحد يطبطب قال لي اسمني باب قال لي بنتك اللي دير دوكيومنتري قلت له ايه.
The feeling of being watched on POV.
I've never seen anything like that.
On Finding Your Roots, Eric Stonestreet.
All I can think about is my grandma, that she knew him. Yeah. And I knew her.
And Melissa McCarthy.
I guess I've always thought people just kind of moved and scattered.
2 comedians.
She was the chief tailor for Fizbo the Clown.
Who pulled up stakes.
Could you live like that?
Holy smoke!
Like their ancestors.
I have chills.
Finding Your Roots.
Welcome back. I'm Trent Holland. After going 1-1 at home last weekend, the Ohio soccer team will hit the road tomorrow and face Mackey's foe, the Akron Zips. The Zips currently sit at 5-7 overall with a 2-2 record. In conference play last week, Akron fell to Ball State before defeating Miami. Both matches were played at home. The Bobcats hold an overall record of 7-5, including a 2-2 record in conference play. Ohio played both matches at home last week, defeating Toledo on Friday before falling to Bowling Green on Sunday. Tomorrow's match is sure to be competitive.
It's such a grind. Everybody is so evenly matched, and so we just kind of take it weekend by weekend, game at a time, knowing that we need to get as many points every weekend as we can. I think they know deep down that we'd love to have a 6-point weekend with 2 wins. Hopefully this weekend will be that weekend. Tough game tomorrow against Akron, but I think we'll be ready for that team, and hopefully, as you said earlier, we learn from our game against BG and come out and be the physical force in the game and have our transitions be at the highest level.
The Ohio football team returns to Peden Stadium for the first time in 3 weeks. They will welcome Northern Illinois to town on Saturday for the homecoming weekend. The Bobcats are coming off of a big overtime win against Buffalo last week. Northern Illinois comes in at 1-4 overall with a MAC record of 0-1. Last week, the Huskies lost to Ball State at home, 27-20. Northern Illinois is known for their tough defensive play and will be looking to contain Nathan Rourke and company on Saturday.
I think they're trying to be what Northern Illinois has been, and they're recruiting really good players, and so you're going to get the same philosophy, I think, in terms of hard-nosed football. They like to run, but they're talented. They've got talented receivers. They can throw. Defense, they're a strong, physical defensive football team. That's been their trademark.
The Ohio volleyball team finished 1-1 last week on the road and will head to Akron on Friday and Buffalo on Saturday. The Zips hold an overall record of 11-4 and remain undefeated in conference play at 4-0. Akron has been on fire as of lately with a 9-game win streak. Two of those wins coming last week on the road against MAC opponents, Bowling Green and Miami. The Bobcats currently have an overall record of 10-7 and sit at 2-2 in MAC play. Ohio will look to end Akron's impressive win streak in the exciting MAC matchup on Friday.
Akron is just, they're on fire right now. It's just no other way to say it. When they went on the road, beat Ball State, beat Miami, beat Bowling Green, they're just playing at an incredibly high level right now, and it's when you watch them on video, it's not a fluke. It's not they would just happen to be hot and the other team was bad. That's good for one night, but when you take the three, what a lot of people would consider the top 3 teams in the league.
A homeowner is cleaning up after a goat broke into her home by ramming through a sliding glass door. It then settled down for a nap in the bathroom. The Ashland Times-Gazette reports Logan Keatley returned to his home in Sullivan Township on Friday to find their German Shepherd agitated and the house reeking. That's when he discovered Big Boy, a goat who had escaped from a farm several miles away, napping in a bathroom. Ashland County Sheriff's deputies arrived, put a rope around Big Boy's neck, and tried to entice him outside with food. They finally grabbed the goat by the horns and let him outside. Keatley says her home definitely smells like a goat farm.
Hello, I'm Adlai Karwish, and let's take a look at one more time at your final weather here. 51 degrees with a passing cloud or two. It's going to be mostly clear. Be sure to bring your jacket if you're going to be out late tonight. Taking a look at our 7-day outlook here. 76 on Thursday, 80 on Friday, and Saturday, homecoming day, is only 59 degrees with some rain possible. And I'll send it back to you, Allie.
That does it for tonight. Thanks for joining us.
What's up? My name is Joseph Hennessy. I am the host of the 21st season of Gridiron Glory. Make sure to tune in every Friday night on WOUB at 11:30 p.m. and make sure to keep up with all of our social media. Remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Support comes from Goldsberry Wealth Strategies in Athens and Parkersburg. Focusing on helping people achieve a life they dreamt of with a custom strategy. Raymond James Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC.
Good evening, I'm Judy Woodruff. On the NewsHour tonight, crossing the line. As Turkey sends troops into Syria, I sit down with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo about the latest international flashpoints, including China and Ukraine, genesis of impeachment moves. Then a constitutional clash. The White House refuses to cooperate with Congress in the impeachment inquiry, creating a test of the balance of powers.